Hi everyone, I am director, editor, and filmer Chief John here, and with me I have Firestorm 12, writer.
Hello.
And co-director, sorry, kind of buffed you there.
Yeah.
And composer, I'm very happy that he's able to make it, John.
Hi there.
Hi everyone, and we just kind of wanted to start off, I guess, by saying how this project came about. I actually saw last year in November, I went to this live showing of Metropolis with this new modern score, and I was like blown away because it was the first time I've ever seen a silent film with a modern score. And that's one of the main reasons going into it that I really, really wanted a composer to make music for our own project, because a lot of the times I don't feel like the music is part of our project because it's not synced up like properly, and it wasn't. I just like that idea of making it for it. So I really liked that John was able to come in. But I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. Firestorm, why don't you talk about a little bit about how you kind of started writing it?
I used a keyboard and my fingers, and I typed them up.
Asshole.
You want me to be serious? Okay.
Yes, serious.
Over this funeral scene. That's that's something I don't know if people noticed. That it's kind of a mistake. Is that the person's already buried, and there's grass growing over it, over the grave. I don't know. So I just made a bunch of mistakes and tried to go over everything. That's how I wrote the script.
Was there anything like sparked it or anything though? Or just kinda like, oh, this would be cool to do.
Very bad feelings. I'm not joking. It was definitely. I think this was. Oh, when did we start doing this? Oh, this was
November
after
last year.
This is around the time we were doing Mission and Medieval Stories, and I think there were some bad feelings going on. Because that's what happened the last movie I did. I was just, and I wanted to do something with a funeral at the beginning, because that was different.
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool way to start it off.
Mm-hmm.
And this filming, this early part, I guess the big thing in the beginning for me was that I didn't have any music and it was a silent film. And so like editing it and putting it together, I had no idea like when I wanted the cuts to be or anything. So I guess it kind of helped when John wanted kind of a temp track to go with that. Just because it helped me to like, know, okay, this is the pace I want, instead of just because in the beginning I had like 10 minutes of like just blank, silent nothing, and I had no idea when to make the cuts or anything.
Yeah, and the temp track helps a lot when I get the finished version, because I know what I'm getting into and I know what sort of music you want to accompany the film, so it makes my job much easier in a way, because you guys put so much awesome music in there, and I was like, how can I measure up to this? So it was very difficult for me to come up with something that could capture the same sort of tone and be as awesome, which my music definitely is not as awesome as the tracks you put in there, but yeah, well, at least I tried.
What'd you use for temp music? I didn't get to hear the temp.
Oh, I used that folder that you gave me with like all the different silent film scores and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't want it, like I didn't necessarily want it to be like a silent film score, because after seeing Metropolis, like I saw earlier, I knew that it could work, and I was like excited to see what John would do, and especially because it's all volunteer. Mission is all volunteer based. I wasn't gonna be picky and be like, "What the fuck, man?" Like I really liked your music anyway. Regardless, it's awesome.
It fits very well.
Yeah, well, thanks. Yeah, I think the other problem for me was that I'm not the kind of person who watches silent films or older movies, so it was sort of like I didn't really know how to achieve this, how to create music that would sound like it was from 50 years ago. So I just had to go with a bit of a modern tone.
I do feel like a lot of that is in Phantom. Like the way I filmed a lot of it, I wasn't necessarily looking for every shot to be like, oh, this is how it would have been made back then. I kind of liked the idea that some of it it was more of a homage than an actual authentic piece. Homage, if that and then an authentic piece, if that makes sense. Like I did put these like tracking things, as Firestorm said, where the
well,
up
I forced those down your
flickering.
throat, I think.
Yeah, well,
It's like,
I kind of
and
I
add
liked
the
that
shaky
though too.
cam, and
I think it added to it though. especially like I was like, oh, fine, I'll at least put it in there just to see how it looks. And I think it does add a different
It makes it
artistic
awesome.
thing. Yeah, it makes it awesome. It's an awesome thing.
Oh, there's Bailey.
I actually remember most of those two people were Venom and Eichmann, and I remember spending hours and hours with them just running through these forests, and I'm sure they were not happy with me at all. I'm sure they wanted to rip my face off, because I was just like, no, we're running it again, and they're like, we didn't even walk right? What? I was like, okay, guys, just do it again. And then I think we did stuff with the running speed too, because like one of them would always run like faster than the other, and I kind of wanted them like parallel. And then so like we played around with that, and we had to do these running scenes a lot more than you would think.
Yeah, well, these running scenes, as you call them, or romantic themes and as scenes, as I call them, they were very difficult for me as well, because they are just running there, and for me as a composer, I would have to come up with a way to make it sound romantic or feel romantic. So it was that was I think the most difficult part to in a movie that's sad, basically, to come up with something that would sound nice and lovely. And then as we are transferring to this darker part, then the transfer to a different tone was very difficult for me as well.
Yeah, that must have been a tough transition, because you come from like super happy and then all of a sudden it's like Jawsy, which I liked. I was really happy with this piece, because I was kind of scared how it was going to turn out, because I know I just sent you like a random like really dark piece like right after that romantic one. I was like, I don't know how that's going to transition at all, but we came to it. This was a difficult thing to film, like really difficult, because we didn't have that many people at these filming sessions. And I remember that I played two of the elites at the same time. And so when they run off, we had to like figure out how to like frame everything during that filming session, because I would like trip into other dudes, and I would like, remember Firestorm, I would like go sideways, and then I would like veer off the edge, because I was playing two people at once. I was like, oh god, it's gonna look so bad. But I guess Firestorm, like, I guess you want to talk about how you wrote these dream sequences, because I think a lot of people were interested in that part of it.
Are they really?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they are.
Those 6 commenters.
Well, again, I used my fingers and keyboard,
Oh,
just like the other scenes. There's no secrets here.
Serious. Anything you want to
No,
say?
I could talk about those seriously.
Talk
guess.
about it.
Okay, so we have the 3 of the sequences here. This is the first one, of course, which is a little bit more fantasy oriented here, but they're all meant to represent some form of death in some way, and they're supposed to be more tragic as we go down the line. And since this one's a little bit more fantasy oriented, it's a little bit more obscure, but it's supposed to represent like an accidental death. Like it's supposed to be drowning, or but of course it's really hard to do drowning in Halo, so we had to go with the fantasy route. And then the second dream, or the second nightmare, would be suicide, which is a bit more tragic, of course. And then you have the third one, which is murder. And that was the whole. Nothing, not too much thought process there. And I can't.
What? Sorry. I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
I did so much testing with trying to make something look like she was drowning, and just it wasn't working. The water's
that?
always too shallow. Yeah, I tested it on so many different water maps. I was like, can we make it look like it's bubbling or something? Or
Oh, that's weird.
So,
Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
oh, wait, we're coming up.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have to point out. No, is it right here? No, it's later on. The set. Oh yes, you can see it. The fireplace. DUSTAR's fireplace. I don't think anybody's noticed that.
Okay, whose turn is it to talk?
You.
Me, okay. Well, I was just going to say that I'm glad you didn't go with the drowning thing, because I have no idea what I would do with that. So this, running sequence or chase was, I think, much easier than drowning. That's just what I wanted to
Use the
say.
Jaws theme.
Yeah, well, that might work.
I just couldn't imagine the body staying in the water for that long.
Yeah. Nah.
That'd be interesting.
Do an alternate.
Maybe that's how you can start off the next movie instead of a funeral.
Somebody drowning.
Just drowning. Oh, it's so sad. But yeah, I want to say something about DUSTARS too. Like, I feel so bad for him because we've started so many projects and he's made so many beautiful sets, and a lot of the times those projects don't get completed, and I feel so bad for him. And the sets he did in Phantom were so beautiful and awesome. Like the tower is amazing. That was like the coolest set I've ever seen in my entire life. And the house is so detailed too. Like there's so many different things. We didn't even show parts of it. Like he made a whole kitchen, and he had his like a whole bathroom with the sink in there too. And he's a great talent. And I hope he doesn't hate us for coming out with this movie. It's here, DUSTAR. It's here. It's 12 months late, but it's here.
Yeah, because before you took over, I was originally doing the directing and whatnot. I told him, I said, just make this house. We just need a living room with some chairs, a bedroom with a bed. That's it. He goes ahead and makes all this nice details. The fireplace. We actually have somebody in there with the flaming helmet. You can't really see it too well, but. Oh, you can see it in this shot there. There you go.
You can see it a little bit there, yeah.
And the clock. And it's so.
It's so good. I remember thinking about like us trying to figure out ways to like change the clock too.
Yeah, that's not too easy. Yeah.
We were like, no.
No, it's okay. It can be 3 o'clock or whatever.
Yeah. John, I guess I kind of want to hear some about how this piece went about, because I love like the ascension in this piece. I guess we could talk a little bit more about how you came up with that.
Okay.
This one right here, the one where it like scales up and awesome to like the finale where where she jumps off the cliff.
That's a musical term, right?
Yes.
Scaling up and awesome.
Scaling up and awesome.
Well, it sounds good to me, so yeah. Well, I don't know. This scene, as he's walking here and he sees the ghost of his wife, I think that was one of the last things I actually wrote, and it was kind of difficult because this one is I couldn't figure out if it's a dream or if it's something, you know, that he's there and he's just fantasizing about seeing the wife. So I sort of tried to find some sort of something to go in between, you know, like it's not really a dream, it's not reality. So it was difficult for me to come up with this idea, but yeah, and here I just used the dissonance in strings and put in the theme that can be heard in the fanfare. So yeah, it just slap different themes onto one another and just works out sort of.
And how do you go about, I guess I never really asked like what your process was for like composing in general.
Well,
like
for like composing, man. What's
man,
like
yeah. Sorry, I have kind of a bro voice. Yeah.
well, you know, it all starts with a sketch, you know, done on a piano, and I just record what I like. And with Phantom, I've tried to come up with a theme that would like be very awesome, and I don't know, I don't even know how to say this, but in the end I actually realized that the little theme that, you know, it's there from the beginning to the end. There's like a 3-note theme that is recurring all the time, and I just decided that will be the main motive that will you know, be the Phantom motive. And yeah, from then on it's just, you know, the process is, you know, from the piano sketch, then I have to, you know, watch the film 100 times, and I basically know the film by heart now. So I don't even have to watch it. You know,
this
I
is
can talk
painful
about
for you.
It's not painful because the movie is good. So I mean, it's nice to see it complete, and you know, yeah, it takes me a lot of time to go from the piano sketch to orchestral finished product, because there's just so much work with that, and I'm not really that experienced yet, so it takes a lot of time to get the polish there and just to have it sound as good as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really liked the fact that this was like a unified score too. That's another thing with using the free royalty music. You never get unified score or themes or like stuff that is natural in every standard movie out there. So that's something I really
Example, Land of Tears.
Yeah. That has to be the most out of place score ever. But yeah, that's why especially coming from that project, this was something I really wanted to do for Phantom. And a few shots back, when you saw him crouching over I guess I'll talk about this actually. This was absolutely bomb shit crazy to film because this is 2 different filming sessions. Because of course we didn't have enough people because we're Halopen, and it was awesome because like we would put elites in one section in one filming session. We would move them out, move them back in, move them back out, move them back in, and then we would take Spartans, then we move them out, move them back in, and move them out. And then it was so complicated to edit and film until I basically just overused the feather technique. But I don't think it's that big of a deal. I hope not anyway. Oh, this is my favorite shot.
It's a very good one.
That was like random masking of things on top. But I'm happy that we did that because I learned a lot about placement and editing. And sometimes those characters weren't even placed there. Like I masked them and then moved them over and then moved them back over this other layer. And then it was like, that was a really complicated section to do.
Yeah, while we're talking about this section, this was a complicated thing for me to compose as well because I tried to go exactly with the, how the characters were changing. And I tried to put my music, to go exactly with those changes. And, at a certain point I just said, screw this, I'm just not going to do this because it would be so much work. And, I just don't have the proper software to do it anyway. So I just decided to, create that sort of crazy mashup of themes and stuff. So, yeah. Yeah,
I think it works. And in a few cases you did have it where it changed, like in a few areas, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I think here comes the final ascension. I mean, I really love this scene.
I really that shot was a little long there because I noticed the shadows and I thought they were too cool to leave alone. I was like, oh, that's so awesome. I'm leaving that shot there. It's kind of a little my own little flash or homage again to like Nosferatu shadows or something. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And these tracking shots, I really wanted to put them in. I know it wouldn't have been in a silent movie, but I thought it was too cool to go up the tower like that. Flat.
And my favorite shot. Wait, no, not the black.
I love this
there.
piano.
Nope, that's how it is. Wait.
So
And
awesome.
cut. On the contrary, this one was pure joy to compose. I mean, the Ascension was, tough in parts, but this ending, is just so cool to write without visual cues. It's just, the credits roll, and then I can do whatever I want with the themes and melodies, and I can just put them together and see how they sound, and that's very nice for me. So thanks for doing credits. They are so long.
I love long credits.
Yeah, we love long credits. We make long movies, we deserve to have long credits. And yeah, this is my favorite piece, I think, too. I just love how it wraps everything up in a great way.
I was just saying that the credits music actually has the chance to wrap everything up and to just complete all the motifs that were hinted at or mentioned throughout the score. So it just gives me a lot of space to work it out and finish it properly. So that's very awesome.
And the same way, it looks like we are done as well. 20 minutes, whoosh.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Firestorm, again, for letting me take on this amazing script that I love. And thank you, John, again, for composing this awesome music that even right now I'm like, yes! Pumping my fist up. And thank you
I have to...
oh, you guys can talk. I'm thanking too many people.
I was just going to thank you for sticking with me because it did take me a long time to actually finish this. So, I'm just happy that you didn't change your composer and just let me finish it. And yeah, it sounds awesome. It looks awesome. So I'm just happy to have been a part of this.
Firestorm, you want to say anything? Go.
The movie's over. So, anybody who's listening, thank you for sticking around this long.
Thanks, guys, and we'll see you again next time.
Where John will ruin more things.
Bye.